The beauty of the challenge is taking the client's dream and integrating it into this place that they've connected with. And that connection is so exquisite as a subject to uncover and extrapolate and express on their behalf. But New Zealand's blessed, absolutely blessed, with the most beautiful places. Here being one of the very best in the world. I was very fortunate to be introduced to architecture at a very young age. I was 10 years old when my dad took me to a house in Sumner in Christchurch. It was designed by Neil Hay, and it was a building that it soared. It had spaces that just flew to the sky, big concrete columns. I'd never seen anything like it, and I said to Dad, what's going on here? This is really different. And he said, well, look, Neil's an architect, he designs houses, and this is his house. And I just knew that's what I needed to do. Architecture is influenced by so many forces. The most important is the client. It's their dream that we're getting to be a part of. And that's getting to discover and understand that dream and explore it is one of the most beautiful things about doing residential work. Here we discovered a site at the very end of a golf course. It's at the southern tip of the South Links at Te Arai. And there's 3 holes that wrap around this building, the 4th, 5th and 6th. So from a very early phase we knew that the building was going to be seen from 270 degrees, which meant the building had a chance to look outward 270 degrees at this beautiful course. There was a need to embrace all of those opportunities and design a building that didn't just look at the sea, it looked at the 4th tee in the fairway. It looked at the 4th hole, it could see people teeing off at the 5th. And then there was the fact there's this incredible ocean. We didn't want to put a building here that looked as though it was aggressively forcing itself into the situation. That we wanted a building that felt like it nestled into this environment.
David and I met 15 years ago on a building site. Clearly he loves architecture, but I like to think he found a builder that really loves architecture too. I can't express enough how much you need to know what's going on with the finishes while doing the foundations. And one of the most important parts of being a really good architectural builder is understanding the intent from day one. The most important part, definitely collaboration. An understanding of the materiality, the landscape, specific wants of the client, and the drivers behind the architectural design, trying to bring it into form, into life. We just had a team that saw the vision, really considered not only their product or the finish of what we're doing, but each other. That's what it takes. You can't do this with anyone. You have to have slightly obsessive, but very keen and very talented builders. It feels a little bit like a dream being able to build stuff like this, if I'm honest.
Spaces that inspire typically engage with their context. They amplify the experience of being somewhere special. The concrete is a dominant form on the building. That's like drawing the sand out of the ground and building it upwards into these strong forms that brace and secure the building, ground the structure. The cedar it looks like driftwood that's been picked up from the beach and lapped over the forms to create a weatherproofing. Darkened off as though they've been burnt in a fire. Every time you move through the building, when you walk down hallways, the concrete's right there. The timber's inside the house with you. The continuous use of elements that make you feel as though you are in a landscape, far more so than in a house. So the sculptural intent is effectively to be on the land, far more so than in a building.
We spent a lot of time hiking around here before they ever started to build any golf courses. Back when it was just a pine forest with some trails for horses, we hiked around. And then we had kids and they started building the golf and we knew it was going to be a special place. I love most about the home just the overall livability, the entire functionality of the house. And it's certainly a beautiful house, a beautiful location, but at the end of the day, you wake up, you have a kitchen, you live your life, and the joy of doing that on a daily basis in a place like this is really what's special.
I get quite emotional about the opportunity, about the trust that's handed to us. Since that early experience with the house in Sumner, pretty much every decision I made was about being an artist, about being a sculptor, about being someone who understood physics, understood technical drawing, and could communicate in the language of building and design. Our clients have got these great ambitions. The importance the decisions will make in their life are profound, or can be profound if they're well considered. And it's so wonderful to recognise the delight that clients express when it's done, when it's here and they're in it, and their pride in what they've achieved. Because we're part of the team that have helped them create what is their home. We're very, very fortunate to be able to do this as a job. So yeah, the results are always exciting to re-experience every time I come here.